I'm Jason with the All Things Open team. We're here with Adrian. We're going to talk about OpenTelemetry, GenAI, observability, and more. Adrian, please introduce yourself to the All Things Open community.
I'm Adrian. I work at Elastic. I'm an open source enthusiast. Been doing open source stuff since like 2007.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's jump right into it. Can you briefly tell our listeners, what is OpenTelemetry?
Yeah, so OpenTelemetry is a bunch of folks who are making specifications and SDKs and infrastructure to help people understand their apps. Sometimes people will call it like monitoring, but it goes beyond that, including tracing and even profiling. Yeah.
Perfect. So you're passionate about GenAI and observability. I'm sure this term is new to a lot of folks, so can you tell us what it is and what excites you about it?
So GenAI for basically when people are using things like ChatGPT and you have some magic model returning an answer to you. There's some interesting things about that in observability because what's happening may not be very predictable compared to like a database request.
Sure.
And also when people are trying to look for quality, like to evaluate the responses, they need to have like the full thing that was sent and returned back to them so that they can do comparisons and things. And so a lot of times observability systems will not capture all of the data, but that's kind of like a norm in GenAI.
Got it. What are some of the key differences between observability as we know it traditionally and mixing in GenAI observability?
Yeah, it's an interesting question because you can look at it both ways. So first off, you've got observability becoming better with GenAI on the back end. So like at Elastic, we have Kibana, which is our normal like monitoring portal, and there's a bunch of assistants inside of that can help you explain the screen and maybe connect into some data from Jira or whatever that might help you out in ways that you can use natural language to query instead of using like some sort of drop downs. And then the other thing is like, okay, I'm running GenAI and I want to observe it, and then that gets into like developer agents, like what we call like distributions of OpenTelemetry, where you would hook into the program so that it would capture the metrics and things that you need to understand, like how many tokens you're using or whatever's going on in the app.
Are there any parts of that where AI is able to alert and fix something immediately, or is there still a human in the loop? What does that look like at the, I don't want to say the physical layer, but like when it comes down to observability?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. So remediation, I guess, would be what you would see folks talking about agents or assistants to do. I would say like right now, a lot of the AI integrated stuff is more on the side of like auto configuration or auto ops, like identifying problems or maybe even root cause analysis and things like that. Writing run books. It may be the case. So we have like autonomous SREs going on, but I think a lot of times right now for actually taking right commands, either there's a human in the loop approving or literally like taking the advice and applying it.
Got it. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of discussion around AI's role in development. Do you think AI will replace developers?
Yeah, I mean, I think that it changes how we look at things. So like, there's this weird like vibe coding thing where people are getting excited about sort of like teasing the relationship between who's in charge. Like, I'm going to just prod this thing and it's going to make some code. And so you may have situations where people were able to produce like, I don't want to say throwaway, but like without a huge amount of energy to produce an application of some value, maybe ephemeral value, but some value. And so for that sort of like proof of concept work, there may be less development work involved. To me, I'm actually a little bit more interested sometimes about the research side of things. Last couple of months, we had a lot of like deep research tools that have been coming out. And as an engineer, there are many cases where you just need to like have somebody look at like 100 websites for you. And that's not something you can usually ask someone to do. I think it will definitely change our relationship with work. And for certain types of tasks, I think the bar will be higher on engineers because you can't kind of like just not do research anymore because you can just click the button and have it work. Right?
Perfect. I love that example. What's a new tool you've been using to boost your productivity lately? Yeah,
it's an interesting thing. So I've got actually two answers. I'll give you a GenAI and an observability.
Cool. Let's go. I want it.
Yeah. So for GenAI, I've been working with this project called Goose, which is from Block. Actually, former colleagues I used to work with when it used to be called Square, and that's a kind of like a SWE assistant. That's pretty cool. And then for OpenTelemetry, I'm a terminal guy. Like I like to use terminal UIs. So there's a neat project by an enthusiast in Japan called OpenTelemetry, and basically you can use that as your collector, and then it will just present all the stuff, and you can just like use keystrokes to get and like look at your metrics and logs and things. And I find that really quick and easy and helps my productivity.
Got it. Well, you're not the only one that still lives on the command line. A lot of folks find that more efficient. Do you have a tip, best practice, or a piece of advice to share with the All Things Open community?
Sure. Yeah, like I think that probably when looking at software development with AI, a lot of times people might not know where to start. And I don't think there's like that many bad ways to start. So if you're lacking an option, you can always, assuming it's safe for you to post code someplace, you can just paste some code into like Grok Think Mode or something and have it explain it back to you, especially if it's open source, you're not going to leak anything. So basically just start by having something explain code or explain code that you don't understand. And so if you're lacking a way to get started, that's my first advice to you.
Perfect. Great advice. Well, Adrian, thanks for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Sure. All right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks.
Yeah.